the second best player I've ever seen in my life. Ever touched the basketball.
Big
He is
shout.
the second best player I've ever. It's like at this point.
I don't like when former number one overall picks or like a top lottery pick is in this race. That's why when I see Cade Cunningham in this race, I feel like
the utter dominance from him from an offensive standpoint, like the shot making ability is unlike no other.
So you're saying this race is between 2008, 2009 LeBron, go on 2K, pick the team, and then
2016 Curry. Unanimous Curry versus 2009 LeBron. Holy
That's
shit.
the race. Welcome back to another episode of the Ridgeway Pod. I'm your host Udoy, and I'm here with All NBA Ush. And as you can see by our names, I'm Mr. 64 Games. I'm barely meeting the threshold.
Did not make the cut.
No, we're not making the cut. We are here to talk about our predictions for the very upcoming, soon to be announced All NBA teams and the NBA awards. So we did this last year. I think it was our second episode, and now we're at episode 20. So yeah, hey, 20. That's a big milestone. 20 episode podcast. How many people the audience that got 20 episodes exactly? So yeah, please hit that subscribe button. Follow us on our socials. Now that playoffs are coming in, I think we're gonna start getting more hotter with our thing. We finally actually set a schedule for the next 3-4 episodes. So we're gonna try hitting 3 weeks in a row at least. So hit that subscribe button, follow our socials, and enjoy this episode. So, we're like last year, I think we're going to get started with our all NBA teams, and then we'll get to the individual awards. And so do you want to start from the all NBA third team or the first team? I feel like the first team.
I think we should start from the first team.
First, second, third, right?
If we can just get this out of the way right now.
The first
team.
Yeah.
There's already 4 locks. So Jokic is locked. Shea is locked, Giannis is locked, and Tatum is locked.
And now the fifth,
4 locks.
We don't know each other's list, by the way.
Yeah, we don't know each other's list.
The fifth, and I'm not changing mine. I'm gonna give my thing. Obviously, if somebody says something, if you say something that makes more sense, I could be like, okay, you know what, I was tripping, and I'm sure vice versa. Like last year with the Tyrese Maxey one, you forgot for MIP, right? But I probably missed stuff too. So our fifth one, you want to go first? Like your thought process?
Because this 3 players that could all make that 5th spot. The one of them was Donovan Mitchell. One of them was Cade Cunningham, and the other one was LeBron James. I went with LeBron.
Okay.
Just because I just think that month of January and February, with all of the turnaround and the turmoil, the trading and all that stuff, and I think the Lakers lost 2 games. We talked about this last pod episode, but the Lakers basically lost 2 games in 2 months. 4 games in 2 months, and LeBron turned into Super Saiyan, and he went crazy. Obviously, he got the groin injury, and the last fifth of the season he's been playing bad, but it's that doesn't really impact the numbers. Impact the voting at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Bron, but honestly, I wouldn't be upset with either Cade or Donovan making it. I think Donovan probably has more of an advantage just because 1 seed in the East. Their numbers are pretty much identical. But
yeah,
I think Donovan's around 26, I think, or 24.
24. His lowest season since 2019, I think.
24, 6-6 or something like that, and then Bron's at 24 as well, which he was at 25, but then the last 2 weeks killed him. Yeah. So he's at 25, 24, 8 and 8 or something like that.
So
I wanted to say one thing real quick though. You know what sucks about this All NBA teams this year is that I think that Wemby would have got All NBA first team.
Yeah, that's what I was when I was reviewing. I was like, I forgot how crazy he was.
Dude, he was going nuts. He was going nuts.
Other than team wins, but it's All NBA, so you can kind of.
He was. I think he was. What was his? He was averaging 100,000 blocks or something a game. I think he still leads the league in blocks, total blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a stat that came out that he's that's what sucks. Yeah. This year's All NBA, before we get to your fifth.
Yeah.
This year's All NBA is so weird to me. Just like it's like there's not a lot of locks other than the first four. Like
Yeah.
this year for sure, especially
It's very
like that third team. I don't
objective
know.
after. Yeah.
That third team, man. When we get to it, I don't know who I'm putting there. Honestly, like
So, quick shout out to Wemby because I guess
yeah, shout out
he's gonna
Wemby.
come up again for the DPOY discussion. Which so he was 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists about. And he was let's talk about his blocks. You were saying, oh, I don't have it up like exactly here because it's just like those basic ones. Oh, wait, sorry. No, I do have it. 3.8 blocks. So 4 blocks a game, kind of like last year, and then like 1 steal a game. And then his efficiency was like 48%, 35 from 3, 84 from like this guy's just like a monster, like
So check
insane.
this in.
Mhm.
So this season, the number one in blocks right now, and he
Mhm.
hasn't played in whatever months, is 176, and it's Victor. The next person is Brooke Lopez. He has 136.
Wow. Wow, good for Brooke.
You know what I
Like,
mean? And then Walker
especially with that
Kessler,
goal.
Miles Turner, like these guys are all like 50 blocks behind him.
Yeah,
He
no,
didn't even play. He's only
nuts.
played half the season. He barely played half the season,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like I
And
think he would have been locked in the first team. Like
you know, it's either him or Luca, who's like the honorary
yeah,
first member. Always like there's gonna be a battle. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, it's gonna be hard for the next like 10 years if all these guys are healthy. And I'm saying 10 because longevity now actually is a thing. Like Giannis and Jokic is 30 years old, but still, who knows? Like, it's gonna be hard for first teamers to like come. Like, yeah, if everyone's healthy, like, because everyone thought like actually I'll get to there's other players later because they're probably gonna be mentioned. But quick shout out to Tatum, 27, 6 and 9 this year on insane efficiency. Giannis, another god tier season, 36 assists, 12 rebounds, and Jokic and SGA. I think we're gonna get into them like later on, anyways. But obviously, like they're the best players and they deserve it the most, obviously. And then yeah, like if we want to like quickly go into my thing, I had LeBron and Mitchell as my two things. Who's the third
Yeah.
person? You said Cade. I know a lot
Cade.
of people shout out to Cade, but I felt like LeBron with the not even because of how old he is, like the impact he was having with AD, without AD, with Luca, no Luca, like he was just like dominating for the most part, and then his defense has started to pick up too, right? Like for the latter half of the season, which funny enough, that's not really a thing when you talk about like all the other all NBA players all the time. You don't go like, oh, but defensively necessarily, right? But yeah, so there's LeBron, and then Mitchell for me it was like similar numbers. He's the leader of his team, and they're like the best team in the thing. Like I don't know, for me it kind of matters a little bit when it's like comes to it's so close between
First
the
team,
two.
especially.
Yeah. So I went with Mitchell, but then I realized I wish LeBron Loki wasn't gonna meet the threshold, but he's at 64 games, so he's gonna hit it. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. So it didn't make it easy for me to be like, oh, LeBron would have got it. But I think I still ended up going with Mitchell just because I feel like over the course of the season, like he was the quote unquote better player, if that's what makes sense. And like, and also like March was crazy for the Cavs, but all of a sudden everyone's stocks went down, like the Cavs, people believing in them. Donovan Mitchell's all NBA case, the 4-game losing streak, and the shooting split's crazy, I know. And then Evan Mobley's DPOY case went out the window because of 1 month. But anyways, we'll get to that one later too. So I feel like that's a little unfair. So I'm being the contrary here and being like, no, we should still respect Donovan Mitchell, and also as a leader too. Like, yeah, his numbers aren't insane, but you could tell he's dialing it back low.
But he's also like if we really want to talk about the team in general, like Kenny Atkinson's about to get Coach of the Year because of the sacrifices Donovan made this season.
Right. Yeah.
Like like Donovan Mitchell, like Dwayne Wade the other day said,
the winning.
I sacrifice stats, I sacrifice stats to win. Like which Donovan Mitchell basically did this season. Like he's a career 27 points per game guy. Like
right.
He's like so. And the fact of the matter is, like, they have Ty Jerome and they have Darius Garland, and to enable those two guards, he needed to get off ball more, and he did that. So I'm not mad at him being first team at all. Like, I think it really comes down to like with the voters, it's going to be how much do they weigh Braun's groin injury to end the season, and how much do they weigh the Cavs kind of slump to end the season.
Yeah.
So which one's worse in their eyes, and then that person's going to get the fifth
But
spot basically.
and which is kind of it sucks because I feel like if it's unless it was like the long period of time, but that's what the whole game 65 game threshold is for. You should just vote off who you think is better for this season, like Mitchell and LeBron at least. What I'm saying,
100%,
yeah,
100%.
like which sucks, but like it's like narratives have to come into play, but it's like why
When it's like
for
that
this?
spot,
Yeah,
like it's that
but
last
yeah,
spot, like no offense to Braun and Donovan Mitchell, like none of them are coming close to those other four, right? So like,
oh yeah, yeah,
right, like so it's like
yeah. It's
okay,
a
who's the
tryout for all both of
so
them.
you know
Yeah,
it's like we have to make some sort of like some
mhm.
sort of criteria to get this fifth guy in. If you know
Exactly.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're just, I guess that was easy for the first team, and then you will go into the second team. So obviously, LeBron made it to second team for me. If
Yeah.
for you, Mitchell made second team. Then I had Cade
Yeah.
because Cade, oh my god, what an insane player!
What a season, by the
What
way.
a
If we want to
season! And
like,
oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah, okay, well, it's cool. Cade and I have Brunson and Mobley.
I got the same team.
Oh, you're the same
I
exact
got
team.
the same team. I got the same exact team.
Yeah.
Other than the Braun and things.
Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got the same
No,
exact team.
sorry. Let's go back to Cade real quick. So what? He's
Dude,
at like
I have
26, 9, and 6. What?
no, dude. Okay, so
Oh my god.
the other I think
Yeah,
I sent it to you like that little edit, that TikTok edit that someone made. He goes, "We're not 2 and 26 bad, man." I like ever since I watched that edit, all I keep thinking about is 2 and 26. Like that's all I couldn't think about is that. Bro, they didn't make it. Their significant changes this season was who was it?
Malik Beasley,
Malik
or
Beasley
Tim Hardaway,
and Tim Hardaway and what's the other kid's name?
Duran, or I don't know. Like
No, they got the rookie. What's
Rob
his name?
Holland.
Yeah, Ron Holland. Ron
Sorry,
Holland.
yeah.
And then obviously, I think like if we're just talking about team in total, Detroit, just because give them a little shout out, like
Bickerstaff.
they just had a great season. Shout out Bickerstaff too. Like he got fired from the Cavs and came over here and he doing the same thing over there. Like
for sure.
And then Cade 26, 9 assists per game, bro.
Yeah.
9. 26, 9 and 6 9 and 6 this season on 46, 35, 85 splits. He literally hit the 66 games and then he got injured. But like
last 4 games.
That's just goes to tell you that how much he's actually played this season. Like, he is like one of those he is a shoo-in for a superstar face of the league kind of thing. Just off the bat, just off the facet that like he doesn't not play games. You know what I mean? Like everybody who's like the best players in the league right now, all like we hear Tatum about it. Tatum always talks about it. He gets like pissed off at Joe when he tries to bench him on an away game. Yeah. Like he has this weird like I have to show the fans that I'm here. Jokic plays literally every game. He's never not playing.
Yeah.
Giannis plays every game. He's never not playing. Shea plays every game. He only plays 3/4 of a game, but he plays it.
Yeah, just be there for the first 3.
But like, you know what I mean? That's like it's like a little thing where it's like it shows that like these guys care, and when they care, it's gonna produce in the future as well. Just gonna keep showing more. Yeah. So shout out Cade, big and
insane.
First time, I think it's gonna be first All NBA team this year. I think he's locked in for sure.
No, I
don't know second or team.
I'm so impressed with him, but because I'm impressed with him because he it's like there's 2 guys, right? Like two people I considered like they're not rookies anymore, but like they're still young. Like Cade. And then there's Paolo, like that have high upside for like superstar potential, right? And then LaMelo, like I do like in terms of like thing, and like Paolo was hurt and whatnot, but then Cade just went like he jumped spears playing the style of basketball that he plays. It's not just like empty calorie stats, this and that. Where Yuchi could have, bro. You mentioned the upgrades. It was like how like it's just the game maybe is slower now. And they're figuring out how to win with Bickerstaff. Obviously, big credit. Tough luck because Ivy got injured, who's having a great year as like a running mate for him. So they were figuring it out together. But like again, it didn't even bother them that much. Like they're still like top 4 or 5 in the East or something. And like playing winning basketball, like all competitive. Like the Pistons of the last couple of years versus now is like two different teams. So shout out to Cade.
And I give him the credit for that, by the way. Like, there's like, you know what I mean? Like, the front office, like, they were literally.
They give him the Luka special.
You know what
like,
I mean? Like,
we us as Luka Doncic fans in Dallas, when he was in Dallas, it's like, yo, can you like get Luka some help? And it's like, well, we got you Porzingis, so figure it out. And then it's like, also there's THJ, and like, shout out to all of them. Like, they were a unit, but like, bro, can Luka get a Jaylen Brown? Can Luka get now J-Dub and Jamal Murray? You know what I mean? Like, at the time, it's like,
it's
bro,
true.
who's Luka's running mate until Kyrie finally, last year. But so Cade is getting the Luka special. like here you go, 100%. Here you go, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, figure it out. like, and bro, he's killing me.
But also the last thing about Cade is it's the fact that like he is. Like, we always say like Paolo's a Bron disciple or like Luka's a Bron disciple or like Cade, bro. But I feel like Cade is also right there just because he's obviously more guard orientated, but just based off the way that he plays the game, like
he slows down, dude. He's space like Luka does. Remember, like
so good with that. Like he's so good at one thing. Like if you're a Bron disciple, you have to be good at is when that clock when the time starts going down, when it's under 5 minutes or when you just hit the fourth quarter, you can notice that they start playing chess on the court.
Yeah,
they start hunting.
He has those moments.
They start pick swapping or like they do all the little things to try to get the easiest shot possible and the best shot possible. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a Bron disciple. Like, you know what I mean?
It's manipulation. Of like,
it's no hero ball. This is all brain.
That's like the first traits. It's like, no, not everyone's gonna be LeBron physically. We get that. Like, everyone's gonna be more like a small guy like Steph Curry or like a two guard or et cetera, et cetera. But like LeBron's like jumping out of the gym, but it's not. So that's why you go to, okay, so how do they think? Like, mind the game plug, right? Not that he needs it, but like, but pretty much like, plug us, bro. But Cade showed that so heavy this year. Like the reason why we say Luka's like the only people physically that people try to sometimes, maybe it's like when Zion was coming in, it's like, can he play? No, they don't play the same. They just physically more similar. And then Paolo is just a big dude. So let's see if he can figure it out eventually. He's still.
I just don't think Paolo don't got the brain cells.
That's the
like,
thing.
I'm sorry, but like he he has that bozo gene, man. Like I love him. I love him to death, and he redeemed himself so badly from our last one. I was like, bro, what is going on with Paolo?
Yeah,
and then
he figured.
And then in the last month, he turned into
30.
He only averages 30. But he redeemed himself again. But it's like. Maybe he's still a little young, right?
It's early. Yeah, I don't blame Paolo really at all that much.
Paolo also reminds me of like
the
true wing Bron. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't play. He doesn't like his handling the ball is isolation scoring.
Yeah,
it's not really like
the
playmaking.
First stint in Cleveland.
Like,
that's why. But that's why it's fun to watch him because it's like that LeBron was like just like Also, I'm just gonna jump over you. Like you can't stop me.
It sucks to try to kind of find. You can't really find another Bron just because. This has just become a Glaze podcast. But
we need the
like how fast he was in that.
Like 2008,
like
9.
When I see Paolo's speed, it's like, bro, you're not touching that.
But again, Cade, the maturity in his game already is like insane. Like now you're just like, yo, we need to build a championship around him. Like that's what he's showing this year, right? And this next guy who I thought also could have been like. Up there this year, like best shooting guard in the league type thing I thought would be Ant, who's on our second
100%,
team. But
100%.
Team success obviously didn't translate as hard this year, but he had to change his play style. But I didn't think he changed it completely. This is the one critique. Like the playmaking didn't really go up as I thought it would, because I thought he's just good enough to eventually do it. But still, he still had a crazy year. What is he? 27. 4.6 assists and 5.8 rebounds, and on like great efficiency as well. The volume, I think that's what we're gonna go.
That's the volume. Yeah, that's what it is.
Go there.
He shoots this season. From last season, he shot 6.5 threes a game. This season, he's averaging just over 10 threes a game. 10 threes a game, bro. The only person who does that in modern day NBA is Curry and Clay. Those are the only two people who I've seen who consistently can shoot 10 threes, and it's like, you know what? It's 10
Yeah.
field goal attempts. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
10 layup attempts. But what, dude, he's shooting 40% on this season. You know,
That's
like in the beginning of
crazy.
the season, he was shooting 46%, and he was going fucking nuts. Obviously,
Yeah.
he regressed to the mean a little bit, but the jump in the confidence of 3-point shooting is insane. Last season, he was shooting 35%.
Yeah.
And he was averaging 6 threes. This season, he's averaging 10 threes, and he's shooting 40%.
40%,
Like,
right? Yeah.
bruh, that's crazy.
So clearly that's great. Like, that's insane. And it's
And
the
it also
modern
makes,
NBA.
it makes their. And I wish, you know what sucks though? Like, it would have made their team last year's team better if he had this shooting prowess
with Cat
last
and
year.
everything. Yeah,
with Cat and all that, because just the amount of because what we watched in the playoffs last year was basically Dallas said, we don't care about we don't care about McDaniels. Yeah, we don't care about McDaniels. We don't care about Rudy. So Cat, you're gonna have to take some deep threes, and we're gonna like put our face in your mouth, put our hand in your face every time. And then Ant, you're gonna have to take those, awkward pull up that you don't like to do, but then now in 2025 he likes to do, and he hits them confidently. So
yeah. Like yesterday's game against the Nuggets, like
dude,
he was having a horrible shooting night.
That shot,
awful. And then the last 2 minutes, 4 minutes, it's like boom, 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 and it's just like whoa, like that was those two teams. Like, yo, we need a playoff series again. Like,
I think that was game of the year, man. That
was so fun.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Jokic had 60, bro.
Right.
I don't know if you heard Ant after the game. He was like,
the best game I've been a part of.
Yeah, and then he goes like, they're like, oh, what about Jokic? He's like, I don't know. We just prayed that he missed.
Yeah, man. He's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Wait,
I want to get one other shout out, because he's on this list and we didn't talk about him yet. Come on, bro. My son, Evan Mobley.
Oh, yeah.
He's second team.
I think so.
Stop playing. He's shooting, and also DPOY, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
What a leap this season from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it won't translate. Like, when I say the numbers obviously people won't really think, but
it's eye testing.
You have to also watch on the game. But let me just read off his numbers. So he's 18 a game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting 56% from the field, and he's shooting 37% from 3 on 3 attempts this season.
Yeah.
So, like, that is but the biggest thing about this season is the fact that he has like become so much more how do I say it? Aggressive, like dominant. Like, he looks to want the ball more. Yeah. He wants to be, I said this in the beginning of the season when the Cavs were playing so well, how they facilitate the transition offense through him. When he gets the rebound, he dribbles the ball up and he will set the action. It's something that I think every team has taken from Giannis when they have a non-shooting but can ball handle big.
Yeah.
You make the big, play on top of the key, and you have not set as much screens. Let the small set screens for him, things like that, just because it can get them going downhill or get mismatches quicker.
Make the pass too.
It's like it literally started with Giannis, and now like every team is doing it now, and he's obviously still the best at it. Like, nobody can touch him at it, but. And I'm like, what a season from him too, man. Like, and I fully believe that there's 2 teams in the NBA that's gonna have 2 players in the All NBA teams. It's gonna be OKC. It's gonna be Cleveland. Like, I think they both especially deserve it. Like, the sheer amount of dominance from both of them from the regular season, it equates to multiple players being able to be an All NBA.
Yeah, no, it's true, and honestly, we know there's precedence for that too, right? Like, it's not like
the Warriors.
There's a reason all NBA teams. It's like, we have that kind of a caliber of players. This year,
I'm winning 60 games. If I'm winning 60 games,
at least
there's
2.
a reason.
And then the next person we have on our list, who I think needs 4 more games to hit 65 games. So right now he's like me, Mr. 64. He's 61. Brunson. But I thought Brunson was having a crazy, like, he's so consistent. He's just a, goal-getting winner type of player, but like with all the efficiency, he's at 26, 7, and 3, I think. With like
basically shooting 50% from the field.
Yeah. And with him being that small, when I see 49% point, whatever, 50%, it's just mind-boggling, because we love point guards, but it's hard to do it with that efficiency, man. Like, That's insane.
Yeah, he's the number one foul grifter in the NBA, but
Oh yeah,
he's also really fucking good. Like,
but that's the thing, bro. That
he's
Lakers
like
game, like,
he's so fake
scary.
6 foot. Like
Yeah,
he's not even he. I think me and him
yeah,
are the same height,
yeah.
and he's going crazy. Like
No,
so,
and
I think
yeah,
he's also another one of those guys that's going to be a shoe in for All NBA for a long time. You know what I mean?
yeah. He'll
And the
always be
Knicks
a
too
must.
as well. Like the Knicks season in general, I think they're third seed this season, 48 wins. They're about to get. I think they're going to hit 50 wins probably by the end of the season. So like
Yeah,
he's fully deserving to be in there. Like it's not even a question.
no,
Like
hundred
even
percent.
if someone was to give like an argument for him to be on the first team, I would say like shut up. But I would also be like it may like there is a conversation to be had that he could also make that first team cut. You
If
know what I
if the
mean?
Knicks were better, I think narratively he would have got into
Yeah.
like, and in a good way. It's positive
If
because
they're
the
about if
teams
they're
win.
closer to the Celtics
Yeah,
than they
yeah,
are, I think definitely they would have been closer.
because they're
Also, the
yeah
Knicks
they're 10
also
games back
lost to
almost.
like every good team this season.
Yeah, that's the
So
problem.
like, that kind of like,
Yeah,
kind of shows you that like, there's a bunch of like there could be a couple like how good is this team really? Like I think they have one of the worst records against um teams against over 500. Let me pull it up real quick.
really. Okay, yeah. So
So
that might
so
yeah.
teams above 500, my god. So Cavs are 24-8, Celtics are 22-11. The Knicks are 12-18.
So yeah,
It's bad. And then you go to the West, it's 27-8. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah.
They also played the Oklahoma City Thunder also played the most top 500 teams, above 500 teams. Second, the
Wow.
Rockets are 19-16, and then the Denver Nuggets 14-19 this season against top
So
500
they're
teams.
kind of like the same name, like the
And
Nuggets.
then the best team, and then the second best team in the West, the Lakers at 19-15 this season, above 500. So like that I
No.
always use that as a barometer because all good teams have to play each other, and obviously there's health and things that
Yeah.
go unaware. But like these guys play like 40 games at least against above 500. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're not at least in a positive range and you're a high seed, then you kind of look like a merchant to me.
Also, like quickly on that note, it's like NFL. Like I know that we know this for a fact, right? That based on your last year's like performance, you get an easier schedule or a harder schedule,
Yeah.
quote unquote. Obviously, there's going to be hard teams, but that's what you get. Like the Browns are going to be a certain type of schedule, and then the Chiefs and then the Eagles are going to have some next hard schedule. The NBA is kind of like, well, it's very conferencey based and like very like in and around your area too and stuff. So it's your team is what your team is. It's not because you played easier like NFL, right? Like it's like yeah, like if you're a non-playoff team, you might get more wins next year because you play also mid teams. But the NBA is like, no, everybody's getting a fair shot at everyone's like best, and this is who the average makes more sense. Like those stats, it's like against good teams, especially when the playoffs come around, like we're gonna see. That's who you are. It tells you like, oh wow, these guys really get up for the good games, and like the Lakers, like the Hornets and the Bulls are gonna beat them. Like, oh shit, I forgot to. Yeah, they hate coming up for the bad games or bad matchups, maybe or whatever. So yeah, so that's our thing team. Quickly on Mobley, I wanted to say, it's his offensive numbers don't jump out like you said, like to like wow, what a crazy season he's having, but he also has to guard the best players on the other side too on that in that team. So he's doing a lot of work. He's a two-way player here. Like, you know what I mean? If you consider Giannis a two-way guy, Mobley is trending upwards.
Before DeAndre Hunter came in, he was having stints guarding Tatum. Like, you know what I mean?
And he was, and like that's a serious thing. Like, hey, Evan, you gotta go out and that guy's hot. Like, figure it out. Like, it's not like we're gonna send Garland out there or something. So yeah, so shout out to Mobley there too. I feel like so our third team. Here you want to list yours since I listed the second team out. I think this is when it might get a little muddy because. Oh wait, quick note. I legit have 4 people, quote unquote, locked in, maybe, but like the 5th guy is like I just have names. I'm like, who? Yeah, but go on.
So So I really only have like 3 locks.
Okay.
So I'll say so. I said the Thunder have another All-NBA. I mean, the Thunder have another All-NBA player, which is I'm gonna go with J-Dub. I would go Chat, but he didn't play that much this season, and I don't think he's even hitting the threshold. The next player this is gonna be a little controversial, and I'm a known hater, but he averages 28 a game. Kevin Durant. I'm gonna put him on NBA 13.
Oh, I took him out of mine because he's not gonna hit the threshold.
He's not hitting it.
I don't think so. He's at like 50 something.
Oh my god, he's
That
out for
ankle.
the season.
Yeah, so I took him out actually. I had him, then I said,
God, I lost. Okay, whatever. Well, then I'll give you my other ones.
He played 62 games. That's so sad,
dude. He can't play. Come play 2 more.
See, that's when I feel like the 65 game thing is annoying because it's like, bro, he was right there.
Yeah, that sucks.
And Chad only played 27 this year, so this guy didn't even play this year. But yeah, poor KD.
Well,
Shout out KD.
Yeah,
but
that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, then the other player is sorry. The other player is Jaren Jackson Jr. Dude, that he is locked in. He was locked in for all NBA this season. It just depended on, if any other centers got injured, like where he would rank. So he was locked in for all NBA 13 this season, and then all the centers stayed healthy, so he stays all NBA 13 this year.
So like, since those are your like locks, I guess the only difference is, so I had J-Dub, I have JJJ, Jaren Jackson Jr. I told you about KD missing, so I didn't even put him on the list, unfortunately. Shout out to KD. I think he deserved all NBA 13 based on his thing, even though everyone's saying like, yo, the Suns don't deserve anyone in there because they're so bad, which I get it, but I'm like,
it was kind of like, I give it to the guys who are performing this season without wins.
Regardless,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the first two are for.
Yeah.
And, but I had, and here we go. I have Kat and Steph on mine.
Kat and Steph.
I have Kat.
Yeah, so, I would put them too as well.
So like, let's talk about like, I guess the quote unquote locks, and then we can get into the last guy. Maybe we'll determine our last guy.
Yeah,
I'll throw out some names too. So yeah, I had Jaren Jackson Jr. Let's go into him. Let's go talk about him because J-Dub. Okay, yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. 22 points a game in like what? So it's funny, he's still at like 5.657 rebounds. So that doesn't really jump up, but I think Memphis staying consistently like number 2 seed, like with the Rockets, they were like a top 3 seed for the most part until recently. And then he also sprained his ankle, unfortunately, Jaren Jackson Jr., which took him out of the DPOY race because he was in that too. But I just think I never thought I'd ever see the year because of injuries, obviously too. But him being better than Ja Morant, like him being the best player on Memphis Grizzlies ever. I always thought Ja will be number 1.
What's crazy? I think last year really fried Ja and gave maybe too much confidence to JJJ. Maybe. I think he's he actually might be better than Ja now.
So you know what I mean? He's become the leader in a way, like the go-to. Like some of the shots he's taking. Like I was watching the game yesterday against the Warriors, and funny, there's like something going on over there. We know about the coaching fire and all that stuff, Jenkins. But it's like half the time it's like Desmond Bane's bringing up the ball, and then like Jaren Jackson's gonna look for the first option, not Ja. When I thought it was like, isn't this Ja's team? Like that's what it's weird going on.
It's crazy because you know what's crazy? Like I read the article, like
Ja still had a good game by the way, but
the one that said Jenkins, Ja was pissed about his touches.
Yeah.
That one. My thing is like Ja, I understand that you're pissed about your touches. Ja, like, are you gonna be on the court? Or is the coach gonna have to game plan for you to be invisible on the court? Because he did that for 82 games last season.
Yeah,
he did that for the season before that. He did that for half the season, and then this season he did it for half the season as well.
Whatever injuries, so but you're just not here.
And they're the 2 seed. Like you know what I mean? Like,
what if we had you?
I need to win games, and you're not playing.
Yeah,
the team with Ja and without Ja, this has been the story of Ja's entire career at this point. It's the team with Ja and without Ja. My problem is there shouldn't be a team without Ja. That's the point.
Yeah.
You have to be available so then the team can be built around you.
Yeah.
They want to give you max money. They already gave you the extension. Memphis, obviously, the ownership, you make them all the money. But if you're not going to be there on the court, then the coach, he coaches basketball. He's not the GM. He's not the owner. He's going to figure out a way to win games without you being there. They have a really solid team. That's been the story of the season.
It's been a story since 2 years now. But it's wait, they're plus positive record without him, positive with him. And that's when the credit goes to JJJ, I think. Because we can all kind of tell that Desmond Bane is kind of I don't know if the word's regressed, but he's not that player from like 2 years ago where like you know what I mean? No, and then they're playing with like a bunch of rookies around them, and like
Yeah.
everyone's injured, not injured. Edie, they had like 400
Santi
years.
Aldama plays like crucial minutes on that
Like
team, bro.
it's crazy, right? So, but like if you know Santi, if he's causing problems like Lakers, you know,
No, JJJ needs to JJJ. Yo, you want to come be Luka's running mate? Come
yeah.
do it, bro.
No, but
One thing about JJJ is we be shitting on him about his defense, but he's actually like an elite rim protector. Like he's actually really fucking good.
So here's the thing. I should have started with this. JJJ was on this tier list of players I call like kind of fake. Like everyone is kind of has highly of them, but I'm like, nah, I see through the bullshit. Like JJJ was one, and it was primarily because of the AD beef too. So there was some bias there, but exactly, AD put that shit to bed, and that's why we call this chain fake. Booker, that thing is ongoing. Like you know what I mean, but those two players are the two players I think this year that made the most like leaps for me personally to be like, okay, I can't really call them that fake. Like,
wait, you're saying Booker's not that fake?
No, but because of the Olympics, I was gonna say like after Team USA, I was like, okay, Book, like you showed me like you're not just empty calories. Like that's another word. Like, and I thought JJJ was kind of like,
no, you know the new thing on Twitter where everyone goes, impact.
Yeah,
is he an impact player? Like you know, like what's his name? Miles Bridges is the worst impact player of all time.
Yeah. So those two have made kind of strides. Oh, and then like I think it was in the beginning I was watching Bam a lot too. I'm like, okay, because I used to think
no. He's so dog shit.
Because I'm like,
we're not doing this with Bam. I'm not giving you that
because they were all low key getting, other than Booker, into big man conversation. They were getting more ratings than AD, and I was here fighting for AD like the shield. So I'm like JJJ, Bam, like Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I relax. Like only Jokic and Embiid. Like that was at the time. But but JJJ, I'm giving him respect now. Like next year he could fall off the wagon again, and I'll call him like fake stats again. But this year, no, like he deserves it. Moving on to, you want to talk about J-Dub?
Yeah, we can talk about J-Dub.
Good. Because we both had J-Dub. So he's at, 21-5-5, running mate. He actually, that team is so good. So you want to like, it's like, is it team or is it the individuals, right? Like, it's so good. Like, but because off the bench they have so many guards that can guard this and that. But I think J-Dub defensively, like he matches up a lot too with like the opposing things. I know they have Lou Dort and the case of Wallace's, but J-Dub is a two-way player. He even though SGA is there, like I think this playoff is gonna prove if he's that level of a player. Regular season, he definitely proved it in my opinion. Insane efficiency. So all across the board, it's just like, I think you made the joke one time where it's like SGA and it's a bunch of SGA clones low key.
Literally,
like they all.
The entire team plays like him. They're all
J-Dub's the best.
Hezzy, Midi.
Yeah, within the flow of the game. So it's kind of like all you like one-on-one players, like player lovers versus playing within the team. It's like OKC is a great harmony of that. So shout out to J-Dub. If you want to add anything, I was gonna move on.
The only thing I'm gonna say about J-Dub is the fact that like he's just, I think like he is on this steady progression, which is nice to see. Like he's like he might not be a player that's gonna like explode into 25 points per game like Tyrese Maxey did or something like that, but he's just on this steady progression. And the fact of the matter is, this team, like I honestly could take this trying lineup and put them in the NBA defensive first team, and we can just like not care about it, right? Like, and I know it's a scheme and blah blah blah, but like honestly, the two-way impact from J-Dub and the rest and Shea, those are the number one two-way guys on their team, because everybody else is kind of like role players and 3-and-Ds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The impact that they have, and you can just see J-Dub has this Austin Reeves in him. I don't know if you noticed, but like sometimes like randomly in like very important situations, just Shea won't have the ball.
Yeah,
like, Shea's there on the court, but J-Dub is in the action.
Shea's kind of in the in the corner under the three.
Like he'll set like deep 45 like Harden does.
Yeah,
like and like
J-Dub's gonna do it. It's like wait,
and
what?
Like J-Dub's calling for a screen for Chet and Harkenstein and running the action. And it's like, why? Oh wait, that's a good shot. Like he made it. Like stuff like that where you can tell that a lot of what SGA has done and worked on to become as great as he has, you can see that
J-Dub's
Everybody else is
yeah.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, so they're all
of
gonna
them
be
are.
SGA soon.
Dude,
Like,
and
it's
whatever you
loading.
hear about their training, their training or their practices,
Mhm.
all it is basically after I don't know how to say his name, but after coach finishes his
Dino.
practice,
Mhm.
yeah, after his coaches practice, all they do is run ones. Like all of them, all they do is run ones
Yeah.
for hours straight. It seems
But-
like because
But they're
they're
making
so good at that.
But it's so cool because they're doing it again in a way where like isolation basketball makes sense, but it's not just it's still like the other four players on the court when you're in the game are at certain places for a reason. It's not just for run 1-on-1 and then like what happened whenever KD did his isolation teams and like they just got beat up like by the Boston Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's not that kind of isolation. So it's within the flow of the game. Somehow they figured it out. So that's what makes it so cool. My other two ones were Cat and Curry. I think Cat was having like a stellar season. After Joker and Embiid, obviously the last couple of years, like those, there's like the S tier centers. You always have like who's the third best center in the league or the big Cat. I think arguably like now I'm like obviously I have Mobley up at second team, but initially I'm like Cat was going crazy. He fit in right away in New York, leading to their wins. I know he's not as two-way as like Jaren Jackson or like Mobley, but there's a lot of other players here that aren't two-way, so I'm not gonna
averages 25 a game. So like
yeah, best 3-point shooting big ever, probably. And like he's just
3-point shooting big ever.
And I think he's fighting Sabonis for like rebound battles too. So that means a lot.
So that was my biggest thing this season.
Is he soft? Like
he's at 13 rebounds a game this season, dude.
Yeah.
13. He hasn't averaged 10 since I think 3 years ago.
So he's like
if I look, let me pull up.
Locked in.
So I'm right.
Yeah.
So 2020 was the last time he averaged 10 rebounds per game. Since then, 9, 8, 8. And obviously he's playing with Rudy those last 3 years.
Right.
But he jumped to 13 this season. The 13 rebounds a game is insane.
And I think a lot of people don't know that he did that this year.
And that means he's at least putting in effort in that facet of the game. You know what I mean?
Insane, bro.
Where that means he's also putting an effort in rim protecting and
he's jumping
and
right?
stuff like that, which was his negatives. Like
exactly. Because his 13 rebounds, I want JJJ to get up to 8. Like if I was the coach, so Cat doing that versus JJJ, everyone's gonna say Cat's soft, Cat's this, Cat's being made fun of, all the time. Well, the effort is there. Like you can't say that he doesn't have that, double-digit rebounding with someone battling Sabonis, who's like Mr. Stats, baby Joker, like need the numbers. So that's pretty fire. On a winning.
What's crazy about Cat is last point about him, but dude, I'm looking at his stats right now, dude. He really took one for the team in Minnesota, man.
Yeah, he took a lot. Like,
dude, his averages dropped. Like he was averaging barely 20 points per game. This
was a good year to show.
And he was perennial 25, 26 points per game guy.
And he was happy doing it too. As long,
and then when
with Ant coming, he's like Ant's the best player. Ant's the best player, and he's like, so that's what
to him. Like,
so Cat's like the thing is he's so talented. Like what I mean?
He's
a real hooper.
He's so good, but like everyone, like he's so corny that like he doesn't. He literally.
Oh my god,
his hoop skills get like
But he's a real New York State hooper.
So good at he's like pure skill wise. Like he's so good. But
seriously,
obviously he has those little things.
And he's like a real 7-footer, right? So like bro, that's insane. Because that's the thing. It's like he has all the intangibles to be on a winning team. Because attitude wise, I don't think he's ever like complained. Oh, I want my touches. Oh, but like Porzingis in Dallas, like he thinks he's better.
We don't ever hear a peep from him
ever. Cat is like, oh, it was my team. Now it's Ant's team. Oh, Rudy's the better like defensive anchor. Over here, Brunson, yeah, cool, bro. Oh, Villanova guys, cool. I just want to fit in. And look, he just but his talent's like, nah, you're the second best player here because Brunson and then you are the next. But he's already like that good, talent level wise. Leadership wise is another thing, but I think he's just a great like character.
Honestly,
too.
Brunson is only like averaging more than him is because of touches. Like
facts,
you know what I mean? Like
so Cat might be better than him and taller than him, so naturally, like he's just more efficient and shit.
I would say they're more equal than people put it out to be.
Yeah,
which also could be like towards their downfall. You know what I mean?
So that's the thing. I think for me, Kat, and the next person here for me, Steph, are those like if you don't think their team, if you think their team is fake, but they're having like pretty good years, blah blah blah. I thought Curry also got in because of the like legacy, and like I had KD, but I'm just like no, like for me at least, I'm just like no, but like Steph offensively is like for me it's just crazy. And if you go
after yesterday he's in, so
no, but if you go to his field goal percentage, bro, he shot 43 the year he won in 2022. You know what I mean? Like percent from the field. So it's kind of like it doesn't really work with Steph to be like, yo, Steph, he's one of those anomaly players.
He's an empty the clip kind of guy. Doesn't really,
he's like the best empty the clip guy ever, because the rest of them are probably not in your all NBA 70.
And all of his shots are like good shots. Like I've never seen a bad Curry shot. Like
so Curry is still leading that team. I know Jimmy coming in. I give Jimmy a lot of credit because he changed the morale or something on that team. I feel like, because I'm gonna bring it up again with DPOY, because that thing shouldn't be happening because of a trade, someone jumped like 10 million odds to be number one in DPOY, which is crazy.
I can't stand Jimmy Butler, bro.
No, and I'm not saying Jimmy's like Jimmy's like, oh, like they're gonna win because that all the Curry fans and stuff are already on Twitter saying, don't let Steph get 5, just don't let it happen.
No, don't let the Lakers stay 4 seed. I'm telling you right now.
Every year we talk about this
again.
So no, the Warriors are still fake at the end of the day. But I think I just gave Curry that like legacy respect, I guess, in a way. And I like even for the 5th seed, I was like, do you have anything to say or no? You're good.
No. I just wanted to hear like if you had any players that were on the.
I have interesting ones that missed out, because I was thinking of the Rockets and I was thinking of Sengun because of they're the number 2 seed consistently. Sengun is their best player. Numbers wise, he's not as good, I think, as last year's team. Last year's Sengun
numbers,
numbers wise. So he's kind of like regression, but it's also like, and he's hit the 72 games or something like that. So, but I just thought like, so does Sengun deserve it because his team is also that good? So it's like I'm not putting him too high, but I'm putting him 3rd team. Garland, I was like, Garland's kind of having a cool year too. Like, he's their playmaker too, 21, 7 and 3.
You know what's crazy? Like my player, what I would put like instead of Steph would probably be
Garland.
Like I could like make an argument for like Trae Young or Paolo to make it.
Okay, so Paolo's not hitting the game threshold.
Well, right. My bad. Yeah. I keep forgetting.
So the players
but Trae Young, I think.
Yeah, leading the league in assists too. He
again, by the way. That's like his 3rd year in a row leading the league in assists.
Yeah, I was gonna say so bonus numbers wise, he's like he's just crazy. He's like, what is he at? So bonus is 19, 14, 6 assists, 59% from the field, 41 from 3. Although he only takes like 2 or 3 a game, but 41 is like, wait, shouldn't you take more, bro? Like, I don't know. But and like when last year in that playoff series against the Warriors, where Draymond was like letting him stand all the way like this much distance, like this year he's actually hitting those like when people try it. So bonus I think can get in there too, like just the 3rd team, right? I was thinking about Jaylen Brown. He was Boston, but I'm like,
he's had a down year this year, man.
Yeah,
if we're gonna give Jaylen Brown, you know who I'm gonna give it to? I'm gonna give it to James Harden, man.
Yeah, he was on my cutoff too.
72 games played this season, I think.
72.
Yeah,
leading the Clippers. You're like, bro, you look at that roster. Did you think like they're gonna be? No, I thought they were gonna be down there, bro.
Honestly. He kept them afloat the entire time.
Yeah,
Norm's out, Kawhi's out, Zubac's out, this person's out, that person's out. Harden playing.
I don't even think you can name more than 4 Clippers players.
Amir Coffey's out.
The casual NBA person listening to this is gonna like.
Where's Umash? Let me go wake him up. Naming me.
No, and obviously 8 seed Clippers now, but it's misleading because everybody's like 2 games away from the 2nd seed. So like that's fake. So the shout out to Harden, bro. 23, 6 and 9. Like, and he's an engine of that team. Everyone always thinks Harden's washed these days, right? So.
Dude, Harden is so underrated, man. Like, so underrated.
So that's kind of like all NBA teams, I would say. I know some people had Siakam on some lists too, because he just kept like he was Mr. Consistent for the Pacers this year. But I think he has been more consistent than Halliburton. Halliburton just recently started blowing up again.
I think for sure, like the consensus is like those first two teams we have are probably locked in.
Yeah.
And then that third team is where it gets tricky.
Yep.
Depending on who finishes the amount of games, depending on who the media wants to put in.
Yep.
But, like I'm not mad at it at all. Like this year, I feel like this season, like is not as controversial as last season with the
Yeah. So we're already, funny enough, already at like 53 minutes, but we have like awards to do now. So those are all NBA teams.
It's kind of run through them. It's fine. No worries.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not in a rush, but I was just gonna say that comment your all NBA teams that you have that you think we missed out on, or if we misplaced someone, switch them around if you want. And like we'd love to see your list, to be honest, because when I was doing the research, I was like, oh yeah, that guy, this guy. So yeah, comment your list as well. We'd love to read them. So moving on to the individual awards, I think we can start with the Rookie of the Year award for this season. Yeah. So do you want to go first with your Rookie?
I'll let you go with this one, dude, because I'm honestly like, I'm lost.
So this year's Rookie of the Year thing, I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy.
I think Ricochet is gonna get it still, but
so right now I think Stephon Castle is like leading in terms of like the votes odds or whatever you want to call it, and then Ricochet is right there. But there's some interesting stats because I think this year's rookie class is very underwhelming since McCain left. McCain got out.
Dalton, that's why.
Dalton Connect had a heater month, 1-2 months. You know what I mean? Like, and then like the French bros, Sarr and Ricochet was taking some time getting acclimated, I feel like. And then you have your Stephon Castle, Stephen Castle, and like Holland and those guys, because they're not, again, eye popping, but they're just like consistently doing or playing defense, this and that. So leading the points per game, surprisingly, at 11.8 is Jalen Wells from Memphis, which is kind of crazy because that team is a playoff team. So how's this kid scoring the highest? Highest scoring rookie of his class in his rookie season? Sarr is at 11.6.
That is crazy.
Castle's at 11.6. Ricochet's at 10.5. Then Dalton's at 9.3. None of the leading candidates are above 27 minutes per game, which is another one. None of the leading candidates are above 4 assists a game. Castle's at 3.6. And then only 2 of them are above 4 rebounds a game. Zach Edey 7.3, Sarr 6.7. So they're all kind of like, what's going like nobody nobody's standing out. So I think Zachary is gonna get it, but Castles is like minus like something. So maybe
is he?
Yeah, that's what.
The odds.
Yeah, pull up the odds.
He's minus 1,200, dude.
So I thought. So this was before I looked at the odds. That's why I was
this is FanDuel, by the way, FanDuel.
So yeah, sponsor. No, yeah. It's so funny because April 2nd, 4:46 p.m. an article out. Stephen Castle's at minus 1,009. Wait, what? Like at Fox? Yeah. It's a Fox Sports thing, and then Ricochet's plus 800. So I'm like, all right, so that's that. Yo, comment who your favorite rookie was this year, and like, who do you think has the most upside? Truth be told, I think based on his build, Zachary has.
I think he's him. I think that's Klay Thompson. Thompson.
But like taller, longer.
But like first overall pick, Klay Thompson.
You know what I mean?
Like someone who's gonna get all the touches, but it's Klay Thompson.
And recently, when he had that explosion, 36 something points. The cuts he was making,
bro. He took. I think somebody counted. He took 4 dribbles that entire time.
Yeah,
the entire game.
Video game. Yeah, and it's like he. So that's Klay, but he's Klay driving. Like
he is.
It's not just shooting.
Sneaky athletic. Like he's actually like a super athlete.
He's dunking it and everything.
He's flying, dude. So, I think honestly, a lot of these players in this class are gonna be really good. It's just that this class, like, they just are. I feel like the way the game is played today, it kind of sucks for a rookie who can't shoot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you cannot shoot and you're not a primary ball handler, it's so hard for you to get your game off as a rookie.
Yeah. To like
unless
show
like
even. Yeah.
Literally, that's why like Dalton and Jared McCain can have such good games because they can shoot the shit out the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And McCain was running away with it. I think all of us kind of
because coaches can like kind of scheme you up more easier when you
Easy,
could
yeah.
shoot the ball.
So there's your
Right?
confidence. Yeah.
When players like unless you're a center, like that's a different conversation. But like if you're not bringing up the ball and you can't shoot, you're like this weird wing that like it's very hard for a coach to get you involved without like costing the team wins.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true.
And that's why it's so awkward for Atlanta because it's like Ricochet's really good, but he's just not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So but I
Quickly,
think this
on
class
him, he's okay. So he's like 6'8", right? So he's a great size, like height wise. He just needs to fill out more with muscle and stuff. But he, when he scored, he was first overall picks. This is a stat by Stat Muse. First overall picks to score 35 points, 5 threes in a game as a rookie. LeBron, Iverson, and Ant, and now Risachet. And like, he's just. I think he has a lot of upside. I think Sar because he's 7 foot. He has and he can like, hopefully like get his the defense up and like he has more of a two-way thing going. But I don't know how much offensive upside he'll have. But I feel like a lot of these.
One thing about Sar though,
yeah,
his offensive upside, funny enough, is his playmaking. It's not his. It's not his
scoring,
like post moves or scoring or screen setting. It's his playmaking. Washington does this weird, not a weird thing, but they do this thing where it's like Jordan Poole and like the other guys kind of like do freaking circles around the 3-point line.
Yeah,
and like he just sits in
finds
the key.
The guy.
And he just finds he finds the skip pass. He's so good at it.
Okay.
And I'm like, he has like this weird playmaking chop. Like, it's like comes naturally to him, which I feel like if he can exploit that more often, then he's gonna find open looks for himself as well.
For me, I think the last thing I want to say about these rookie class, for me, it was like a class, and it's not an insult, but they're all like really good championship pieces role players. Like, if you have Trae Young, you get Zachary, right, as a running mate. Sar is that freaking grind it out, make Draymond Green passing, winning plays. It's Stephon Castle, the Marcus Smart type player, like that can like. It's so funny. McCain, I'm not saying he's the number one option, but he's gonna shoot the shit out in game 4 of your playoff series. Same thing with Dalton. We'll see this. This even like there's so many. Kellal Ware from Miami is now getting things. He has the most double doubles with Yves Messi. Messi. I forgot how to say.
It's crazy, dude.
But they're all athletes. You plug in and go.
Like, Yves Messi, I thought it was some white dude, like Goga or something. Bro, this is super athlete.
Yeah,
he's Zion but taller.
Yeah, he's insane. So they're all like super athletes, right? Like all didn't eat organic growing up, and so that's kind of the rookie of the year talk
these days too.
So I mean, I hope you, the audience, has also kind of gotten an idea of who the rookies are this year and how well they did. But that's kind of the rookie of the year talks, I guess you could say.
Also, like quick last thing about rookies. NBA media, I hate. We already talked about this, but I just want to bring it up. They suck at talking about their rookies, man. They suck.
It's true. I think I learned more this week trying to do this video than.
Bro, you have to literally be outspoken like Ant for them to even mention you.
Yeah.
The only reason people cared about Ant is because he did that interview where he said he'll play every sport.
Yeah, his PR run was great.
Yeah, like he had a crazy PR run.
Same and LaMelo,
he's been doing it since 16. Like like these guys have to go on in. Like Cade literally had to go 2-26 for people to look at him.
They're like, oh, what's he saying? And
Cade was like one of the best college players I've ever watched. Like
but it's true. It's true. So I guess the next award, and we didn't talk about it last year, funny enough, but we could quickly run on this: the clutch player of the year. Funny enough. So obviously there's people that are like that have the odds. I think Trae, Jalen Brunson.
I have the odds right here.
Go
on. The odds right now, Jalen Brunson's minus 170. Then it's Jokic. Then it's Trae. Then it's Ant. Then it's DeMar. And the rest don't matter because it's like plus 15,000.
Can we just give Trae some flowers? Because like he obviously never gets talked about. And then you bring him up for third team, which that's coming argument. Young has more buzzer beater game-winning field goals, including the playoffs, than anyone else since he entered the league. Like
that's crazy.
So that's when you go and talk about it. Better than Luka, Yeah. So he's 6 for 14, by the way. Luka is 4 for 17. Steph is 3 for 9. Dame is 3 for 15. Tatum is 3 for 17. So he has 6 out of since he came into the league. And that's
6
crazy.
of 14, by the way. That's like 46%. He's like official.
Yeah. He's 43%. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then he's one more buzzer beater away from tying the most in a single season over the past 20 years since Gilbert Arenas and Kobe. To Gilbert Arenas in 2006-07, Kobe in 09-10, and De'Aaron Fox last 2020 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So this guy, like, he's crazy, including in total, including the playoffs. Only LeBron, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Dwayne Wade have knocked down more buzzer beating game winners in the 20 years since 04-05. Like,
that's crazy, dude.
Like, that's insane. Since 2004, this guy is like insanely clutch, clearly. At least, like, I know people talk about like those are buzzer beaters. So there's other factors too, like when there's 5 minutes left in the fourth till the end of the game, including overtime if needed. So there's all that stuff. But a lot of people think clutch is just that last shot. And hey, in this situation, Trey seems to be the clutchest. So, but then you have Brunson, who's like, he kind of takes over that thing role with like the end of the game,
fourth quarter, last 5 minutes. I will say this about Brunson because I think he's going to get it. And my biggest thing to get them. So they suck against teams above 500, but for some reason they refuse to lose in overtime. They are a whopping 6-0,
except for the Lakers game.
6-1, sorry, 6-1 against in overtime games, and that is all Brunson. Like if you watch their games, anytime a Knicks game happens and they're close, you watch the fourth quarter. Randomly, they just change how they play basketball. They become like heliocentric.
Yeah,
and he starts hitting the most craziest jumpers ever,
and the foul calls and everything. Like, I think he shoots like 50% also. Like in one of these stats, it's like he's just so efficiently clutch at the end. Like, it's not just shot.
I think Brunson gets it. I wouldn't be mad if Trey gets it. Jokic is in that list because Jokic is a freaking demonic entity.
Yeah, and I think that helps. Like that's part of we're going to talk about the NBA's MVP. But that helps Jokic because his team and bench is so awful that he has to like end up doing so much. But like at the end of the day, like that's why he's in this award at least. Like he deserves that because Shea's not playing the fort. So so that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think Brunson takes this one too. We can move on, I guess, to the coach of the year. I think we can answer like 3, 2, 1. Cleveland.
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah. I think what he's done, nobody expected Cleveland to be this way. It's the same way like the Thunder last year. Yep. It's the exact same thing. In terms of obviously if you want to just standing 60 and 15, obviously OKC are 3 games better, but I think people did not, again, I think it's the expectation thing, man. Nobody expected Cavs to be this good. Boston just ran through everyone last year, and the playoffs we all saw what happened, which you called. The Cleveland, I think, the turnaround is insane. I think the Pistons
Cavs are the number 1 offense this season.
Yep, go on.
They are
number
1 in field goal percentage. They are top 10 in every other stat in the league. So their defensive rating top 10, rebounding top 10, blocks top 10, point differential top 10. They're second in point differential behind OKC. I don't think there's like they're about to win. I think they hit 60. They hit 60. They have about like 7 games left. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 65.
Yeah.
That is just
it's nuts.
Just what a season, like from a coaching standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, from a player standpoint, it's like there's no better award for them to get, like for Kenny Atkinson to get, because he's also a first-year coach, by the way.
Yeah, for like
of this team,
of the team,
like this brand new team, brand new system. He brought Ty Jerome. He gave Ty Jerome all, like he made him into 6 man. Like Ty Jerome's in 6 man of the year running. Like when we get to that, things of that nature. That's Kenny Atkinson.
Dean Wade, all these players.
Styles. Yeah, the way he's enabled Mobley, enabled Garland, enabled kind of took away responsibilities from Jared Allen, so the lights aren't too bright.
Right. Yeah. The way he's dialed down, like Donovan Mitchell's like staggered his minutes and his touches on the ball, so then everyone else can to make the system work. It's just been he's honing their skills so well and it's like there's obviously a lot of talent there, but nobody really took this team seriously, right? Whether it's their ace to just down the line, but look what he's done, and they're a serious team. I know March is kind of crazy, but no, I think they're definitely like in the mix.
They were so good this season that people were going crazy over a 4-loss streak. They have 15 losses in this season.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy.
They might finish the season with under 20 losses. They might be the only team, them and OKC.
Every other team wishes, right? So that's the thing. So that's where I think Coach of the Year is pretty self-explanatory, and that's just. But no, it's good that you stated those facts as well, because people need to see how good they are. It's not just the record. They're totally right. I think shout out to JV Bickerstaff for improving the Pistons as much as they did. You know, they what was it last year? The Phoenix coach, right? The Phoenix has changed fake.
Talking about
Phoenix coach, like he came to Detroit, then he got fired. He went to the finals.
Monty.
Yeah.
Monty Williams.
So Monty,
you trash.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they brought in Malik Beasley and friggin' a rookie and THJ and said, look what I can do. And so shout out to him.
Ime got to get a shout out too.
Yeah, Ime, yeah. No, like Ime was he's my dream coach. Like
Ime, the thing with Ime though is the worst part about it. I mean, the funniest part about it is he has such a freaking like chaotic team. Like they are so like unhinged, bro. That entire team. When you watch
not
them
just
play,
Dylan Brooks,
bro. That game against the Lakers yesterday was it or the day before?
2 days ago, yeah.
2 days ago,
yeah.
Dude, that game was like I couldn't watch after the first half because how like I'm like, what am I? How are they second seed?
Yeah,
like that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm like, that's why I go, yo, coach, bro, salute, man. You get wins somehow. Because this team makes me want to rip my hair out. Like,
he's doing something, and he's getting this much success without having a bona fide number one go-to scoring machine, whatever. Like that's crazy because at least everyone else has a Cade, Donovan Mitchell, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like that kind of thing. Like Jason Tatum, no, bro, got Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet.
Crazy though.
Like what? Like
it's so crazy though. Like if you look at it this season, like a lot of these teams, like a lot of the top teams this season are like just like really good teams. They're not really
it's like the NFC.
Yeah, like we're not like we're in this like we're in this whole new era because of the new CBA and everything.
Yeah,
it's like you need 1 through 8. Everybody has to be good.
Yeah,
and one doesn't have to be the best, but 8 also cannot be like 15. Like everybody has to be decent, like good at basketball.
What you're reminding, like what you just said, actually kind of makes sense. It's like talking about the skill level of everyone, right, on a roster. It's like Lias from like SDS was saying about like soccer, football, that like modern day is like everybody's technical ability is like higher than the past. Like 100%. Over there, like somebody could just be a brute force, and he's just like the enforcer of a team. No, now everyone's skill levels like. The first top 8, right? Like the first 11 on a pitch in the soccer pitch. It's like the natural ability is like super high technically. That like, and I think the Nuggets had that when they won the ring, like the 1-2 thing. Like Bruce Brown giving you insane minutes, and then Christian Brown was like
the ninth. Has that right now, dude.
No, and I was gonna go Boston. Like Boston's Mr. Everybody Eats too at first.
Payne Pritchard is a demon.
Yeah, which kind of like screwed up Tatum's like current legacy, I think. Like the more he wins, the more like he gets clowned. It's funny because of the team success. And then so now you're talking Houston, Cleveland, as OKC, like, and Boston, like, and there's theoretically the Knicks should be there, but like they're not really.
The Knicks, the Rockets, the Lakers.
If you go on paper, it's like wow, like you guys have that, like damn, like it's like the first 8 off the bench / starting is insane. And yeah, based on I guess that like we can go into 6th man of the year because you mentioned him, Mr. Okay, I like to say shout out to Funky Diabetic when he drafted him, or like when Boston.
Oh my god!
To do his Kuki series.
I know what you're talking about.
He used to Peyton Pritchard. He simulated.
You developed him. You developed him into like
he did it, and because of Funky, I learned who Peyton Pritchard was coming out of college, and I was like, Peyton Pritchard can really become not a starters, but like fringe starting / 6-man level player. And bro, it happened. Like This guy's averaging what 14 points a game, 40 shooting 41% on threes, 63. Wait, sorry, not 63, but like 41 on threes, and he's just like it's not just
Dude, he is.
huh?
He is the only reason why that Boston Celtics team can get away with their salary.
Yeah,
Like literally,
true.
I was telling my friend Jack about how like Boston desperately needs a flamethrower off the bench, and they just have like this barely this 6 foot
That's what I was gonna say. It's his
army cut
size.
flamethrower off the bench. Like
Yeah.
they play him and Sam Hauser off the and what's the big tall guy's name? Cornette.
Cornette.
They play the triple white boy lineup off the bench,
and
they fry. They fry teams, bro.
So Peyton Pritchard, that what I wanted to say, and I fumbled my words, was the statistics and everything is cool, but when you look at him, everyone thinks, oh, future Cameron Payne. Like seriously, like size wise, he's not gonna be that nice, like blah, blah, but he's exceeded all that expectations. Like he's now Dennis Schroeder off the bench, like that level, like and he can keep going. He's so young too. Like, and yeah, you're right. And then the next guys are Hauser and Cornette. It's not just Pritchard playing with Jaylen Brown and this and that and Porzingis. It's no, we're the bench mob. Like we're out here. And last year in the playoffs in the finals, these guys would come out and shoot a couple threes and then leave.
Oh, he hit that freaking half court
every game. But now, like this year, Joe has figured out. No, you're part of a system now. Like you're not just the off the bench who shoot 3 threes and get back off. Jason, go back in there. And it's like legit. Like
they also like desperately need them though. Like they needed Peyton Pritchard to bring this step up because to be honest, if we looked at it this season, like Jaylen Brown's had a down year. Like after coming out the Finals MVP, he's had a down year, and especially he has problems with his knees.
Yeah.
Drew's starting to get older too.
Yeah.
So like a player so players like Peyton Pritchard and like showing up and like improving as much as he did this season, like you need that for the team. That's why I still have confidence in Boston going up against OKC. That's the final matchup, but that's why I still have confidence in Boston because they can match bench for bench, and OKC is bench mob. Like you know what I mean? Like,
they're actually shout out to the Raptors. I know shout out to Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter for 6th man of the year shouts. Like again, great teams. Obviously,
shout out Russell Westbrook. Hold on, bro. Shout out Russ.
Yes. Aside from yesterday, no, but seriously, he in a good way. He was turning into 6th man of the year, Russ, and it was like, oh, is this the Nuggets are back? Like, this is what because the Nuggets are lacking in depth, right? So that's the thing. Like Russ was really giving that, but then because of someone can't stay, he realizes that his season starts in the playoffs every freaking year. Jamal Murray, Russ has to start now more often than Malone wants to start him, and in a respectful way, by the way. Like it could have worked if Jamal Murray played like he plays like the Lakers for at least like 50-60 games, but no, he does not do that. So like
also I think like the reason why Russ is like this season has been kind of like not really a roller coaster because he's been primarily really good for the Nuggets, but it's a Nuggets issue in general. Both Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. both suck ass. So like that's literally
they're so funny because they don't regress like, oh, this year sucks, next year I'll be good or something. They have like 5 games of heaters and then like 10 games of I don't want to play, and then 2 games of good, and then you know what I mean? It's like
what they say about Jalen Green. You know what they call Jalen Green, Mr. Last 5 games. Because randomly on Twitter, you'll see the last 5 games Jalen Green's have.
Yeah, that's
27,
those
84. Those two as well. The last 3 games, look at MPJ. He had 20 points 3 games in a row. He's also in year 6, guys.
If that was the case, the Joker and the Nuggets would have 10 more wins. Like, you know what I mean?
This whole the reason why things in 6th man of the year and Jokic is like why the race for MVP is so insane is purely because of those 2 players. They suck so badly that these guys are getting award shouts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, because y'all asked. Like
you guys so bad, Jokic has to be the greatest we've ever seen since LeBron.
Yeah.
And you are so bad that Russ is turning back the clock for some reason.
Yeah. So shout out to that for the 6th man of the year.
I think PP locked that though. I think PP's locked that.
Yeah, Pritchard's. Now the next one we could. Oh, so this one's funny. MIP. So everyone
This
who
is
knows
the
me,
hardest one, by the way.
everyone who knows me, I just want to preface it before I let you have the floor. I don't like when former number one overall picks or like a top lottery pick is in this race. Because for me, growing up, it was always someone who's like who no one really saw coming, or like a role player that like improves heavily and low-key even enters the fringe all-star conversations and stuff like that. That's why when I see Cade Cunningham in this race, I feel like it is a little bit of like, because of the way we grew up. So obviously it's like an old head talk. It's like when he might win it, and then when I saw Ja win it, it's like, bro, what are you improving? No,
that ruined the league, by the way.
Because I think this other person is Dyson Daniels, right? Like who's in the race at least. And I'm like, okay, yeah, people like Dyson Daniels, people like Christian Brown, like if they've shown a higher level this year, and then when I say entering fringe and stuff like that, like J-Dub like last year or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, or when Maxi made that insane jump, I'm like, yeah, no one thought they were number one option level, but the number one option levels, leave them out of this race, please.
They literally were drafted lottery. You cannot be drafted lottery. Like, okay, I want to give him a max contract, so he needs an award. Like, that's what I feel like. That's how it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So there's only two players that deserve it.
Yeah, go on.
The two players are Dyson Daniels and Austin Reeves. Those are the only two players that deserve this award.
Austin.
And I will tell you why right now. Ready? Let me pull out the stats. So Dyson Daniels, this last season, this is the first one ever.
I have it up.
Right 61 games played, 16 games started, 22 minutes a game. He averaged 5.8 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists.
Yeah.
His steals was at 1.4.
Yeah, and 0.4.
This season, he played 70 games. He skyrocketed up to 34 minutes per game. He's averaging 14, 6, and 4 on 3 steals per game. He is
running away with that.
He is the best perimeter defender in the NBA this season.
100%.
Easily the best perimeter defender this season. So he's the one candidate. The second candidate, last season, he played 32 minutes a game last season. He started 57 games last season. 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, the splits or whatever. Yeah. That was last season. This season, started 67 games, played 67 games, started every game he's played this season. Is the only player, I think the youngest player or like one of the first players in Lakers history or something like that. Or no, the Lakers are the first team in NBA history to have 3 players to average 20, 5, and 5.
Yeah. And did anyone expect that for 3 ball handlers like that on the
Austin
team?
Reeves, man. That kid, like I've been so like flip-floppy on him, trying to figure out who he is. Does he fit in here? Should we trade him? Should we not?
Yeah.
I'm good on trading him. I'm done with it. Won't talk about it anymore. He's so good, man. He literally closes games with Luka and LeBron on the floor, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like
his trajectory every year surprises everyone, including us. So he, Mr. Improvement, like he's always improving. That's
whatever we thought Caruso was gonna be, or the improvement that we thought Caruso was going to get. Austin has like lapped that over 15 times over.
So crazy. And like the confidence, like when he has the ball in crunch time, like I have when I see it, I'm just like, no, like, and I shouldn't be. I should be like, oh, Luka's right there, bro. Give the ball, Luka.
He also has the best whistle after Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. And then, so that's for me. So it's very close. Funny enough, I was like, before I deeped like how good Austin Reeves' improvement, because like the team has just been in a flex. I was like, I think Dyson Daniels probably deserves this. Like, I didn't think about Cade.
I don't think Austin's gonna get it.
So I think Daniels, but I don't think it's because he's that much like Reeves doesn't, right? You know what I mean? But
no, Reeves definitely like is right there with him.
Convo,
I honestly also think that Reeves kind of like this last portion of the season, he's starting to get more shouts, and Dyson has been the whole season
consistently.
He's been. Like everybody's been like talking about him when he had like 20 steals in 6 games.
The fourth guy, because those are the top 3 with Cade, Dyson, and Austin, is Christian Brown. But I think like shout out to him for like making most of his opportunity. Because honestly, he's other than Westbrook, he's also the only other consistent guy like
Yeah.
for Jokic. Like the
Like,
rest of the team is
if I was gonna
regressing.
say anybody else, I'll say Mobley, but
Yeah,
I'm not putting the fourth overall pick
yeah,
in MIP votes. So
exactly.
no, thanks.
So yeah, exactly, 100%. So that's the MIP. So now I think we only have like 2 more awards to
Yeah,
go.
DPOY and MVP.
So defensive player of the year, man, that's a funny race because I low-key thought, okay, look, everyone like timeline, Wemby, this is the first of 10. Like this is the year first of
Yeah,
10. Injury
I'll
happens.
still give it to him. By the way,
Just good.
I'll still give it to him. Like it's not even a question.
Insane. The only thing I remember, I think I was talking to Udoy about is like, yo, if he's so good defensively, like, why the hell is the team so ass? Like, you know what I mean? But obviously, it's like it's troll. It's like no, individually, like that guy's crazy, crazy, crazy. Then you have Mobley, and then like I said, JJJ, but then the ankle sprain and everything, he kind of like toned it down. Remember,
Wait,
he's on
Mobley. I would say, wouldn't it be? Oh wait, you're saying a story or something. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no,
I
it's
think you're
fine.
gonna
It's like,
mention the name.
no, because JJJ was like in the mix. Like he's always gonna be in the mix, I
Yeah.
think now since he won it too. So it's kind of like one of those narrative things. And then now he's thinking about like life can be worse. They could be homeless or something. Like he's giving some look. So cool. Mobley, Dyson Daniels was up there for me because if you play fantasy, this guy like 500 steals a game. Like how do you do that? Like it was crazy. Mobley's in it, and then
Don't
okay,
forget, bro. Don't forget his name.
Who are you saying?
Loogie.
Oh, yeah, because the
Lugenzo.
I'm sorry, I was trying to name like he's up there. These are the consistent all year. I'm hearing these names. Loogie, like there's that stat up. Like
Hey, we gotta tell the audience his actual name. That's our nickname.
Oh yeah. Lou
That's
Dort.
Lugenzo Dort. We're talking about Lou Dort, bro.
Lou Dort, yeah. Because like the SGA campaign, J-Dub's posting it now. It's the regular season averages when they verse Lou Dort. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Now Luka's on that list. LeBron's on that list.
You know what's crazy? The reason why Lou Dort is not going to get not going to get defensive player of the year,
have 6 defensive
because he's a danger to society.
He's a menace,
dude. There's like on Twitter. There's like a highlight compilation of him injuring people.
Yeah,
it's the sad.
He's like, yo, Draymond got a DPOY doing this and a whole legacy.
No, but he legit saw like he saw like wait, this guy made a career off of this. Yeah. Like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what Draymond Green is.
Clip of the Boston Warriors game where he flipped Marcus Smart off the pick and roll. He's supposed to just set a pick. He threw Marcus Smart.
He did the sumo wrestler flip shit, dude. Oh my god.
Moonsault. Like boom. Yeah. So now quickly, all of a sudden, since this certain trade happened, because someone else came into the team, he's favorite.
He's not. He's minus favorite, bro.
What the hell? How? This is the first time I've seen this. I feel like, don't you think? Because do you remember when LeBron, remember when Giannis the bubble year, and then LeBron goes on like beats Milwaukee, beats Clippers, and then he has like an insane month or two.
LeBron wasn't even favored though.
No. But remember we started talking about it, but everyone was like, Giannis has been MVP the whole year. LeBron just started. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, fair. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but we've been one seed in the West the whole year.
The whole year, but okay, we're not in the convo. Like, no, but they actually crazy. You put LeBron's name that year in MVP conversations, which he finished second. So I don't know what was crazy about that. And then all of that stuff. Draymond, like he started like 10 games ago. He's like minus 10,000. Like
he's minus 160 right now. I'm fine.
How?
I don't understand how this dude Golden State is like some next level organization.
No, that's some real legit Ballon d'Or. We're gonna 2 of my guys in there.
There's no shot they're gonna give him. The voters gotta be like serious for 5 seconds of their life. Yeah, just give it to Mobley.
For me, it's
normal
Mobley.
normal human beings. And if they want to give it to somebody else, give it to Dort. So that I can hear all the people cry about OKC winning all the awards. So that's all.
Also, my thing is, okay, we're not calling Draymond a scrub. Like defensively, he's still great and stuff like that. But my thing is, you did a trade that clearly caused the way you played, the way you're allowed to play defense now, and the way Steph's allowed to do on offense now, because they got to watch out for that other guy. Forget his numbers or how you feel about him. People are still now, I got to worry about that guy now, because Steph didn't have a second option and Draymond didn't have a technically a second option on defense here. You know what I mean? To do his own thing.
He didn't have a perimeter. He didn't have a person who can also guard, like switch with him.
So now all of a sudden he changed his way. It's not the play style that changed; it's the personnel change, leading to his great defensive play. So now all of a sudden he's gonna beat the guy who played 70 games worth of defense. And just quickly, Mobley leads Green over defensive win shares, net rating, the defensive rebounding percentage, block percentage, blocks, team success. If I have to add that too, by the way, Green leads in steals and fouls while having one of his lowest usage rates, opposite to Mobley. Isn't that a plus for Mobley too? Because offensively, he is so much of a thing. And on the best team, second best team in the NBA, best team in the East, like the Warriors are nowhere near. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Warriors were the 11th seed man. Like last week, bro.
Like what? No, but that's what's so mind-boggling to me. Also, quick shout out: Giannis is like the best free safety in the league still to me.
100%.
Like help defense. That guy's like, if there was an award for that, Giannis should get it. No,
another shout out, by the way, in all of these award talks we were having, Anthony Davis would have been Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA, a second team All NBA this season, all that shit this season if he was just healthy. It didn't even matter about the trade. It only mattered about the health.
It's the health.
Like his numbers are so gaudy this season, like. You know, it's unfortunate.
You know, AD is like, you know how we talked about Cat's talent doesn't let him be a number 3 option or whatever we were saying. Like AD's that, but 2 ways, like both ways, elite.
He can never not be good.
He's like, I can't, suffering from success. You know, like it's like how naturally Luka is in offense, like how naturally good he is. It's like
AD's just literally like naturally.
I have an All NBA first team. No,
like I will block. No, I have to get this block. Shit.
Yeah, I can't dial it down and just be offense. So so that's the DPOY talks. Now I think we're finally closing in on it on the most insane race of all time.
I think this is one of the best races
we talked about 6 man of the year. I was gonna real quickly though, Dyson Daniels, first in deflection, first in drive stops, fourth in closeouts, first in steals by like 10 million miles. Like that's your perimeter shout out, like the best perimeter, the Great Barrier Reef. He insane, like top 2 defenders for me this year.
Only person who's touching him is DeAndre Hunter, bro.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like it's crazy, and like you know, like Marcus Smart won it that year. Like Dyson Daniels, you know, I know it's a big man award half the time, but yeah, man. So let's moving on to the greatest race of all time. Like
the single greatest race of all
time. This one, do you want to start or like I don't know, like?
Okay, so there's so much nuances here that we have to go off of.
So much.
So first of all,
I did some deep dive, and I even have like random numbers to talk about because how crazy it is.
First of all. Jokic almost won the MVP race yesterday, but he lost.
Yeah.
So that goes to say that for the second year in a row, I'm telling you guys this, and I might be wrong again, that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is your MVP. Okay? So this is like the craziest race ever. So I'll start off by naming off the stats for both players and like the storylines for both players.
Yeah.
So basically what we're seeing here this season, the only player averaging 30 a game this season, above 30 a game this season. He's at 33 points per game. He's at 6 assists. He's at 5 rebounds. He's at 63 wins. Mm-hmm. He's at I don't play fourth quarters. He quite literally doesn't play fourth quarters. He also is averaging 52% from the field goal percentage. He's also the best mid-range shooter, and he's also one of the best defenders in the NBA this season, which he could be second team All NBA defense. He's shooting, a decent clip from 3. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what else you can really say about that Thunder team. I mean, about Shai and his MVP race. Like you're gonna have some advanced stats and some numbers.
Sure, yeah, but for both guys, by the way, not just like
and then you go on the flip side, you go look at Jokic. Yeah. So the Nuggets are the 3rd seed or 4th seed, I think. 3rd seed right now. 3rd seed. Jokic is averaging 29, 10, and 13.
Yeah, 29. By the way, you could almost say 30, but yeah, just say 29. Yeah.
He's averaging 57% from the field goal range. He's averaging 41% from 3. He shoots almost 5 a game.
Bro, like I said, Sabonis is 41 with 2 a game.
He might
It's
be
fake.
okay. So I just want to say this about Jokic real quick. Jokic is the second best player I've ever seen in my life. Ever touched the basketball.
Big
He is
shout.
the second best player I've ever. It's like at this point, it's just ridiculous. Like
Well, that's
the
the
shit.
tweet that someone said, right? It's like since the last 20 years, it's only LeBron, and then someone threw in Curry and that thing, but that's where the
It's
list
not.
stopped.
It's
No, but
not,
like
dude. Yeah.
Jokic is that the best, like since like
You just
second
don't
best.
see it
Yeah.
like you when you watch him. You know what it is, and I hate like using like intangibles or feelings or emotions, but like when you watch Jokic, and we said this last year in the playoffs, there's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Like like it's like a
Which only
Thanos thing. You know
which
what I
only
mean?
a
It's like
few NBA legends have.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'm inevitable. Like my stats are gonna come.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna make such an impact on the game. You're gonna hate me.
No,
Like
and win
I
too.
I
More, yeah.
I genuinely like this season. I started hating on Jokic. I love it. He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite players ever. I started hating on him, and then I realized, I'm just like the LeBron haters right now.
That's it. That's exactly it.
just like
You're
LeBron
just on
haters
the
right
other
now.
side,
And
right? That's it.
literally,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
this MVP race has made me into one of those Bron haters against him. But when you take out the MVP race, this guy is the greatest player I've ever watched since Bron, bro. Like it's not even close, bro. How good he is at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, he doesn't have the accolades to prove it. I mean, to get there yet, the rings and the Finals MVPs yet. By the time he's done his career, there's not going to be a center better than him.
And
other than Kareem.
No offense, he's like just how good he is. He's just one piece away. Like he's always one piece away.
Statistically, he's already better than every center ever. I mean,
no, it's crazy.
I mean, not statistically. Skill wise, he's already better than every center in the NBA history ever. Like it's not even close.
Nuts.
He can literally shoot. He has transformed his game into, and he's 30 years old, transforming his game still. He's transformed his game into this unstoppable offensive force, not by the playmaking portion. It's the scoring, bro. He's just a crazy scorer.
And
now,
honestly,
bro.
you know how he's Mr. Triple Double, like Russ Max, like Russ, whatever Russ was in his prime. But no, he's an insane scorer. Like his bag is insane. Like the way he can go get his shot. It's funny because I always forget sometimes in a way. It's like, no, he's gonna make the right play. You know, the whole LeBron-esque thinking it out the game, manipulate the game.
Touch in the NBA history. Best touch in the history. Anytime he's going for a floater, that shit's green.
No, and it looks like he doesn't see the defender. The way he like shuffles or whatever, and just throws it up.
He just does
fades away,
and it goes in.
The threes, like the confidence in the threes. It's not just like the fake 2 threes a game.
He also has like the most like half-court buzzer beater since he's been drafted in the NBA.
He like practices those two. I feel like so. No, that's just insane. You gave like the raw numbers, right? And then So when you go to this is how nuts the race is. Before like we go to pick and whatever. Which honestly, it's either or, but I feel like there's one winner. So let me just give context. So you know what box plus minus is like that statistic. LeBron's peak was 13.24. Jokic is at
like 14 different times.
Yeah, Jokic
last year.
Yeah,
last year too.
Yeah, it's funny because Jokic done this is in the top 5 with LeBron, like, and then it's like MJ. Jokic, right? Like this year currently is 13.21. So that's LeBron, by the way, in 2008, 2009 LeBron.
That's like one of the best bronze
ever. Curry, his best one was 11.94. It's not obviously top like whatever. It's like I think it's in ninth. It's ninth all time. That's crazy. That was 15-16 Curry. Shea is at 11.58. So you're saying this race is between 2008, 2009 LeBron, go on 2K, pick the team, and then
2016 Curry. Unanimous Curry versus 2009 LeBron. Holy
that's
shit.
The race. Like, just to paint that picture. Like, it's
that
insane.
is one way to put it.
Like, I heard that in the video. Shout out to Jimmy High Roller. It's a YouTuber dude, like Twitter guy too. He creates very good videos. I just saw it like it was like, what? Like, that's what we're seeing right now? That LeBron versus that Curry. And yeah, so that's the funny thing. So, like, you can go to their plus minuses just to give people a context, I guess, because OKC is the 4th most winning team ever in modern history, by the way. So that's how good OKC is. Shea, whatchamacallit, he has a plus 12.5 net rating, which is the second most in regular season in NBA history. So when Shea's on the floor, OKC is plus 18.3. So they're 20-point favorites. Like they're gonna score 20 more points than you every time Shea's on the floor, is what I'm saying. Like how insane is that? And then when he's off the floor, they're just plus 5.8. So they're 6 points better than you versus thing, right? So that's a 12.5 difference, which is crazy. Both sides of the ball, you've mentioned it. That's the one big thing SGA has too. Like he's one of the better defenders in the league, especially perimeter. Jokic, if you go to his plus minus thing, he's plus 10.6 on the floor. So it's not plus 18 point whatever.
His minus is fucking nuts, isn't it?
But the minus, when he's off the floor, it's minus 8.2. So the Nuggets are supposed to be down 10 when Jokic didn't exist. Like
literally when Jokic, like when you tally up all the minutes and everything like that, they're basically winning games by +2.
Yeah, you know, true. No,
obviously that's not exact.
No, well, technically, yeah, because the difference
you go by total minutes.
Yeah, you're right. So apparently, if you do the thing, they're 45 wins. There's a 45 win difference with Joker, like on this Nuggets team this year. Whereas the SGA is 15 games. He's 15 games better with him on that team. So 15 games worse. So 15 versus 45 games. Bro, that's a lottery team. So
they have 47 wins this season, by the way.
Like that's nuts. So that's just like quick numbers. Obviously, not everybody puts like advanced metrics into things. And
I also want to talk about like the dominance of Shea this season too. Like, I know I gave a little bit of props to Jokic, but the reason why I'm giving Shea the MVP is due to the utter dominance from him from an offensive standpoint. Like the shot making ability is unlike no other.
In every whatever you want. What do you want?
Unlike no other.
Like, you want three, you want fade, you want drive.
He's at this point of his game where it's like everything is at his will at this point. Every shot is at his will.
Yeah.
When you see him against I forgot what game it was. I think it was against Boston or it was against
Jaylen Brown guarding him and stuff. Yeah.
I forgot who was guarding him, but I think it was clutch that every time down the court, he was just making people break their ankles. The game against Minnesota. That's what it was.
Was it you who said it was like Agashi-esque? Was it for that? Did you say
no? That was the game against Detroit. That was the game against Detroit where
Tim Hardaway clip.
We broke Tim Hardaway Jr. Then he pulled out Jaren Durant. Then he brought he brought Malik Beasley over. He went and got Asar Thompson. He sunned him 14 different times.
Yeah.
Like he is at this point of his
career,
at this point of the offensive bag where he's literally unguardable, and it's all off isolation base majority. So when he gets a screen set out for him, it just fucks the entire defense up even more. Like he's not a player that needs to. His pull-up game is just so insane. Like he's like the pure hooper's dream. I get it, but he's so efficient too. He shoots. I think he's shooting 56% from the midfield, mid-range this season.
56. Like look, so he's like the final boss of pure hoopers, in a way. You know what I mean? So, like that's crazy. Are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, okay. I'll wait before I go into like just maybe. I think I have like 2 more points, but like just to show how, like just to respect both players, but like in a different context. Actually, yeah. Go on, get the stat first, because no SGA, like the efficiency with the shot that's not considered efficient by analytics and all that stuff, a 2-pointer that's like the mid-range, like it's crazy.
So so when I pulled up the stats here, so right now he's basically shooting from what is it, 5 to 14 feet. I think that's what the thing is. So when he's 0 to 2 feet, so when he's being guarded like very tightly, he's shooting 45% from mid-range. When he has literally an inch of space, so 2 feet of space in front of him, he's shooting 60%. 60% from mid-range.
That's crazy.
That is insane. Then after that, he's 50%. Everything is basically above 50%. He also is one of the most efficient late shot clock shooters in the NBA. So when the shot clock is very late, he's at 46% right now. And also he's also one of the best very early shot clock kickers. So that means he's one of the best transition players in the NBA.
In the NBA, yeah.
He's shooting 86% from the field. I think he's one of the only guards in the NBA that are in that is up there in true shooting percentage right now.
No, it's insane. The efficiency is nuts.
Like it's offensive masterclass. And one thing people are going to try to discredit him because they have Lou Dort and like this well-balanced machine, Hardenstein, everything like that. He is the point of attack defender after Lou Dort on that team.
Dort, yeah.
Like obviously J-Dub takes responsibilities too, but that he also leads the league. He's also up there in steals per game this season. I think he's in top 5 steals per game this season. So
for sure.
It's like such. I think he should be going back-to-back MVP this season. Honestly,
right?
Honestly,
and it's funny because, okay, before I get to this point, so for me, just to give 2 more quick points on these guys, the Jokic part, he's doing what Russ did, like in terms of a triple-double season, 2016, 2017 Russ, where the numbers are pretty much, if not better, like the same, which is like more rebounds and like same amount of assists, which is crazy too, on way more efficient like basis. So think of that Russ, whatever dominance you guys remember of the best Russ you ever saw. Think of that times 10. We already said he's LeBron 2009, but I just want to give Russ his credit in that sense too, ironically enough. Now, when you go to SGA, the only players to average at least 33, 5, and 5 on 60% true shooting are, well, Shea's one of them. Luka last year. James Harden twice, 2 years in a row, 18-19, 19-20, and Michael Jordan twice. The 87-88 and 89-90. Fun fact, out of those, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4,
MVP.
Out of those 6 players, like 2 of those Hardens and things, only the 88 Jordan, I think, won MVP.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
18-19.
No, because he won 17-18.
17-18.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And then
crazy,
Michael, I think the same year won DPOY. So like that was just like a great year for the
game.
And
you know another thing about this race with the nuances, like I don't want them to do this thing, which they did to Harden, by the way, because Harden was winning 65 games a year, and averaging these numbers, and they didn't give him the MVP.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So that's the thing. And for me, it's like we haven't brought up the word voter fatigue at all because I don't think it's about that. And I think you were you said it. I think SGA deserves this win, but it really comes down to the best player on the best, like one of the greatest teams of all time, but he's pretty much the biggest reason, or so the most valuable player. So valuable player of the best, one of the best teams of all time, or the most valuable player on he's on a winning team because of him. Like he's making up so much ground.
He's the reason why they're the reason why they're good is because of his value.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Which is his value, which is insane. 45 amount of games worth of wins, and the other guy is in historic. His team is on historic numbers, but the Currys were awarded for it. You know what I mean? When LeBron in Miami for 1 or 2 of those years was rewarded for it, MJ was rewarded for it, like for being dominant team and being the focal point of that dominant team. So it's kind of your pick, but I think SGA really deserves it this year. I don't think it's because of voter fatigue, blah, 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 because, it's like, oh, he'll have 4 MVPs or 5 MVPs. That's more than, like, your favorite players. It's like, no, bro, if you just – I personally think they should – we're big soccer fans. Seeing Messi and Ronaldo have that many Ballon d'Ors because they deserve whatever, if you want to go year by year, it's because of their dominance of that year. No voter fatigue shit. Like, and the NBA really needs to start, like, stop that shit, because there's this whole thing where it's like because they didn't give MJ enough – that everybody suffers because of it. So that's why I'm like, MJ, if he deserved 8, you should have gave him 8, bro. You guys consider him the best player of all time when he won 3 rings and you barely gave him all the MVPs he deserved, blah, blah, blah. And now LeBron, Jokic, whoever you want to call who's having the most dominant season that year. Yeah, but again, SGA is no slouch at all. So again, this year, I think it's SGA. So it has nothing to do with Jokic having 3 MVPs and all that stuff either.
No.
That
I don't. Fully, it has no.
We know greatness, and those 2 are the head and shoulders above the rest, man. Like those, that's crazy. But yeah, my MVP would have to go to SGA for this year. Quick shout out to Luka, because a lot of Jokic's things. This
literally
year
last year. It's literally last year.
What Luka did last year, but and he was not on the winningest team. but he's still
Luka just did it. It wasn't the 1 seed last year. Like literally, it's the numbers.
That's why he did
the numbers, the stats, everything. The way they're winning games, the amount of impact the
Luka was on
having.
Luka's on the list that I told you with SGA's on with MJ. So I'm just like,
and Luka was averaging 34, 9 and 9. You know, like
so he was doing the SGA numbers.
It wasn't 5 and 5. It was 9 and 9.
Bro, it is. I have it right here. It's 9.2 rebounds, 9.8 assists.
I think it's
62% true shooting, 33.9 to 34. Yeah. So he was doing Harden scoring and Shea scoring this year, but like triple double machine, but winning with the team. Look at his roster. Okay, but anyways,
you know what's crazy? He got no MVP shots last season. Him and Tatum, bro, we're both my dogs are in hell, bro. Nobody likes them.
They're locked in for the most amount of hate. Like the climbing and hating. And SGA and Joker are in like heaven. Like if you're talking top 4. And Giannis is like, yo, do I even have a team? Like
Giannis is, yo, who the hell is Giannis, bro? Like literally nobody knows about him anymore. They think he's like a rookie again for some reason.
But yeah, that's our award things. I know it was a pretty long episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed the amount of details we put in. I think it just paints a picture, and give more credit to give more credit to our takes as well. But hope you guys enjoyed that episode. This episode should be out this week on Friday, whatever Friday of this week is, which is like in 2 days, like April 4th. We're gonna try to get it out. We have playoff talks coming, and things are about to heat up, and so will the Ridgeway Pod. Ush, anything to plug? Anything to say? No.
Like, comment, subscribe. Give us some shout outs. Let us know your feedback. You know what you guys think who should deserving of which award.
Please comment below. I want to see comments of who you think your MVP is. Eric, if you're watching this, let's hear your hate slander.
We don't want to hear you.
Shout out. I also shout out to all the support. Like in the community, it was Eid the other day. We were out there. I think you had 1-2 people say, pod, shout out to the thing, get me as a guest, and enjoy listening to it. I had some people come up to me, like in front of the mosque and stuff too, and I was like, oh wow, people are listening. Like you don't even realize it sometimes. So we appreciate the support. Like
for sure.
You can't do anything without your guys' support, anyways. But see you guys next time on the Ridgeway Pod.
Peace.